Kazakhstan is one of the most multinational countries in the world. Here live representatives of more than 130 ethnic groups and nationalities. Each ethnos is a unique tradition, unique holidays, fascinating stories and amazing recipes. Recipes of kindness and peace, recipes of respect for their ancestors and foreign culture, recipes of friendship. Hello, you're watching Recipe for Friendship. My name is Alevtina Majarova. Month after month, program after program, we introduce you to the traditions and customs of different people and cultures. It is noteworthy that all this ethnic diversity, capable of surprising the imagination of even the most sophisticated researcher or traveler, for us, Kazakhstan people, is an ordinary matter. After all, there are about 113 nations living under our common Shan Iraq. Nevertheless, today we will talk about people who are representatives of not quite typical nationalities for Kazakhstan. Meet natives of the African continent, people from Nigeria and Ghana. In today's program, is it possible to cook an African dish from our local ingredients? What we are cooking right now is called fried rice. It's like an Uzbek pilaf, but we will cook an African pilaf. Tell me, do you eat Kazakh food? Yes, I really love Kazakh food. The first favorite is beshbarmak. What do people wear to office in Africa and how one can tell to what region a person belongs based on what he or she wears?
With this Ghana styles, you know?
Yeah, this is the kind of Ghana styles. And normally when you see an African man, basically Ghana man dressed like this.
Also, we will see African dance and hear African songs. So today I present to you probably the most remarkable guy in Astana. This is Abdul Karim, my new friend. He will teach me how to cook a dish from his country. Is this a Nigerian dish? Yes. Karim met us in Astana where he was brought by work. However, a big part of his life is connected to southern Kazakhstan. But first things first. Well, let's start and chat at the same time. Good. Yes, let's start. We started our acquaintance from cooking and at the same time learned the names of the dishes, which was quite difficult. Karim himself is a representative of the Yoruba tribe. The characteristic ingredients of the region, of course, have names in the local language, but it is not always possible to pronounce them or find a suitable analog. In Africa, in every country, in general there are 57 countries, and in every country there are different dishes and food. But I'm from Nigeria, so I want to tell you how to cook today a Nigerian dish. Does each tribe have its own cuisine? Well, yes. Africa is an incredible continent. To some people, a prospect to go there is scary. To others, a cradle of mankind seems very attractive. But anyway, the more you start learning about the African continent, it becomes clearer. We know almost nothing about it. Officially, there are about 60 states on the continent. As for the number of ethnic groups and nationalities, according to different sources, their number varies from 500 to 8,000. Abdul belongs to the Yoruba tribe. This is one of the 10 largest tribes in the region. The patrimony of Yoruba is Western Africa, the capital of which was historically Benin. In total, there are more than 25 million people on the planet who can identify themselves as part of the Yoruba tribe. In the Middle Ages, Yoruba created early state formations and in the 18th century created an empire. It stretched from the river Niger in the east to the borders of modern Ghana in the west. Researchers note a very high level of development of the culture of these people already in the Middle Ages. And it seems that much of the legacy of the ancestors of the predecessors of this nationality has been preserved to this day. Today we are cooking the traditional Yoruba dishes. They are moderately relatable and exotic. And although our new friend brought spices, butter and sauces from home, we used of course our local ingredients too. Is it from here or is it from Africa? It's from Africa. Have you brought all your native ingredients? Yes. Well, at least meat is Kazakh, I hope. Yes, the meat is Kazakh. Carrots too probably are local. Yes. But these things, it is shrimp. A shrimp powder? Dry shrimps. Well, you can immediately guess from its smell. The usual sunflower oil for Africans is exotic. Their typical option is red palm oil of the first pressing. This is oil. It's a special oil from a tree. It's very good and healthy for you. People sometimes use it for a newborn child's skin. So it is an excellent oil for both food and for external use. Yes, and it's called palm oil. But spices presented us even with bigger puzzles. With red pepper everything was clear, but in addition to it, there were a lot of seasonings and fragrant powders that I have not seen before. Traditional cuisine of the region is, as a rule, a garnish of amalas. We will talk about it a little later. A basis of a dish is usually meat, fish or vegetables and sauce. A variety of flavors is achieved precisely due to spices. In addition, the popularity of hot spices in hot regions is also a necessity, because many of spices are excellent antiseptics and help digestion. And here are spices. This is African red pepper. Well, it's very spicy. Well, you can try it. Oh. It's super hot. It turns out that the ingredients are pretty familiar. Here are wheat, rice and meat. Yet it will be difficult to fully reproduce the taste of Nigeria. And also we have carrots, onions, peppers, garlic and tomatoes. And this is corn and green peas. So on the table today there will be a stew according to the recipe of Abdul Karim's mother and rice with vegetables. Look, you are a musician. You write songs. Who taught you how to cook? Well, when I was a boy, I used to watch how my mother cooked. In general, do men in Africa cook, or it's only women's prerogative? No, all men can cook. This man had enough time to settle in our region. He has been living here for about 3 years and even managed to start a family. So he already fell in love with the local cuisine. What we are cooking right now is called fried rice. It's like an Uzbek pilaf, but we will cook an African pilaf. First thing you need to do is wash the rice. Let me wash it. Is this enough or should I use more? It's fine. As we mentioned before, a lot of things connect our new friend with southern Kazakhstan. His wife is from South Kazakhstan and at the moment she and her little son are visiting her relatives in Taraz. How long have you been living in Kazakhstan? Well, for 3 years. For 3 years, and you have already learned both Russian and Kazakh. Well, yes. Tell me, do you eat Kazakh food? Yes, I really love Kazakh food. The first favorite is beshbarmak. I can cook beshbarmak myself. When I'm cooking, I add African pepper to make it spicy. So you cook beshbarmak African style. Yes. I also love manti, pilaf, bausaks, kumis, shubat and kumran. Well, we definitely are not surprised. Practice shows that it is difficult to remain indifferent to the wonders and diversity of Kazakh dastarkan. While meat is cooking, rice is getting ready. Tell me your story. How did you end up here? Well, I'm from... My brother has been living in Astana for a long time. He has been here for almost 11 years, and he has his own business. Karim arrived in Kazakhstan to work as an English teacher because he comes from the English-speaking region and in one way or another can be considered a native speaker. However, his true vocation since childhood has been music, and soon he started a band here. They perform songs that he writes. You came here to teach English, but your calling is music. Yes, I have been performing with my own band for a long time. I've been performing in Ghana, in Africa, for a long time. But when I came here, I worked as an English teacher. What kind of music do you play? I play different music. I play also African national music. I love doing different projects. Curiously, Karim composes songs in different languages, including Kazakh, and the artist's plans are big. I have an idea to make different music from different countries. You want to create a large international project? Yes, an international project. I write Azerbaijani, Turkish, English, Arabic, Kazakh, Russian and African music. Fantastic! It's a great idea. You should do it as soon as possible. I wish you success. Inshallah.
Yelim bardan jaynagan asemange salaye Africa minim to anjerim and celebi bilib juregen yelim sagunam menozum de mangi gesu yok dem olum seni berakta canum jayta badu Kazakhstan yele kuşaka şada yekinci otanım ozum buldum sende bugün ben adem bastı Africa yelim de jaksi kore mi kop alem de kodum birak menim uyumde Kazakhstan'ım var baktı mekeni mozum.
The songs in Kazakh become not the last surprise for today. Among the relatively familiar dishes, I happen to try something truly exotic. Then another master joined us. While our food is being cooked, we will do something else. Wheat, but there is another type of it in Africa. It's called amala. Amala? And you are an expert. Well, yes, it's special.
You are chief of amala?
All African people like it. Karim's bandmate insisted that instead of a wheat paste that we thought we will use at the beginning, they will cook an authentic amala wheat.
Aha! Do you have real master?
Yeah.
Come on, come on. Salam alaikum.
I just want to prepare wheat, you know, the wheat stuff, because this is Kazakhstan. I don't know. Maybe we can make amala, right?
I guess you have it.
Yeah, I get amala.
Yeah, then we have to put it, because this is not an Africa.
He says that it is not possible to find it in Kazakhstan, so we do not do it all the time since we eat it in Africa and call it amala. So amala is the kind of flour that is obtained by grinding and drying the yams. The question arises, what is a yam? Root crop resembles a potato, very starchy and very long in shape. It is cooked in pieces and then they are pounded afterwards or grinded into flour, as in our case. From it, a special mixture is prepared. It can be porridge, pudding or bread. This is amala or amail. Well, since it's homemade, it's considered to be Ghana. Fatik, a native of Ghana, showed us a masterclass how to cook a dish, which he sees almost daily on the table in his country.
You don't need to put it all in at once, little by little.
In truth, it's not easy to describe the taste of this dish. Cooked amalas are teared to pieces and dipped in sauce. Spoons and forks in Africa are not particularly common. By the way, rice in West Africa is considered a kind of delicacy because sometimes it costs more than meat, which is not surprising given that it requires special conditions for growing it, not typical for most of the African continent. I cannot even name what it looks like. It does not look like anything. It is amala. It looks like amala. Finally, everything was ready and the only thing left was to find out how to say enjoy your meal in Yoruba language. Well, once we were full, we started to dance. And what kind of dances?
Zamu zamu my way. In African, we have different styles of dance that is like international dance. We have Guara dance, we have jazz dance, the new dance like Asonto, we have the Yoruba Bata dance, we have the Ghana traditional dance, we have in Senegal, we have in South African, like the Guara is the South African dance. But right now, like the new styles of the pop, people try to create different kind of style dance from the old African dance.
Guys also showed us different costumes.
What about your costumes? I see any difference.
This is different kind of African costume. Like you see, this is called Buba and Shokoto in African. It's mostly by the West Africans. Even in Zimbabwe, in Nigerian. Like now, I think almost all the African countries, they put on this attires.
Is it one color for
it's different
any
varieties.
Special
Occasions, for special occasions, for the wedding, for normal times, you can wear to work, you know, in the offices. Right now, a lot of African countries, people dress like this to the office.
Is it popular in Africa still now?
It's very, very popular. It's very popular even in America, a lot of blacks people over there.
It is noteworthy that traditional national clothes are popular in Africa even today. Men and women wear colorful outfits, not only for holidays or for special occasions. This outfit is typical for everyday life. Moreover, when going on a trip or moving to live in another country, many Africans still wear their national costumes, and one can easily determine the origin and native region of someone wearing the African outfit. Fatih demonstrated the costume of a person from Ghana.
With these Ghana styles, you know?
Yeah, this is the kind of Ghana styles. And normally when you see an African man, basically Ghana man dressed like this, it's only queens and kings who normally dress like this.
It's kings.
Yeah, the royal style.
The royal style. And normally it doesn't go with foot, it goes with bare foot like this, with some
beads.
That is natural.
The natural beads.
Natural beads like this to be placed on.
This is cotton.
This is called Ankara.
Ankara, African cotton.
African cotton, yeah.
Very good quality.
Now we need to see the details of the Yoruba national costume. Here we see bright colors, but the cut is different.
And like this, we have a tribes in Africa, Nigeria, the Benin. The Benin empires. You see them from the Asians, they dress like this with the wrapped all over the waist, from the waist down, and with the top. It's called Buba with Iro. It's, you know, from the western part of Africa. Most especially there's an empire called Benin Empire.
As you can see, colors are very cheerful. And on the chest, both men and women wear a characteristic pattern similar to a large necklace. Fabrics are usually treated with a special composition, which helps them to retain their shape. Sweet ruffles are also kind of rule. After several washings, the outfit goes out of order and is replaced with a new one.
African people like bright colors.
Yeah, because you know, bright and white, you know. Zamu zamu my way, Africa. My way. Zai.
Well, such touching stories as today can be heard not so often even in the program Recipe for Friendship. I want all of us to thank our new friend, and I think that sooner or later each of us should visit Africa, even if we stay to live in Astana. On this note, we say see you soon to our new African friends. And there are still a lot of dances and songs, costumes and rituals, and of course recipes to discover. Recipes of friendship. See you soon on Kazakh TV.
Hey.